Hi! I've recently been out to the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia for the pre-release event of a collaborative book that I contributed a chapter towards. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to say a few words while I was there, and I thought I would share my message from that day with all of you through my very first video. It has been really exciting to see Luminaries on the Loose truly come to life. I was one of the first authors to be involved in this project, so I'm really excited to not only be holding the finished product in my hand, but also to have it available to share the valuable messages within this book with all of you. Massive congrats to Nadine Love for compiling and publishing this book full of transformational steps and personal stories. It is an honour to be amongst the incredible contributing authors, so thank you, Nadine. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lana and I am the author of Chapter 13, The Courageous Voice of Motherhood. I'm also mum to two toddlers, Zachary, who is 4 and is determined, focused, smart, affectionate, and mama's little man. Our 2-year-old Thomas is wise, cheeky, knowingly quiet, and will melt your heart with his huge eyes. He is daddy's boy in every sense of the phrase. I often describe my first couple of years of parenting as being somewhat less than a smooth journey. It's true that both of our children have faced extra challenges. Zach was born with a treatable deformity known as clubfoot, which he is still undergoing daily treatment for. Both of our children suffered from reflux, and my second pregnancy was high risk and extremely distressing. But more than that was the challenge to learn to trust myself with so much going on around me. And not only that, but discovering who I truly am, not just as a parent. With the added pressure of a little person's well-being on my conscience, I found it difficult to remain confident about my decision making. I wonder if any of you have also felt that uncertainty as you become parents. I don't think we have to have particular challenges for this to be something that we feel. In my chapter, I share one of the experiences I faced on our eldest son's enduring journey to health and happiness. Despite always having had a certain ease and affinity with young children, I often felt to have no natural instinct whatsoever of how to care for my own unhappy new babies. Trusting myself to make good decisions or having mother's intuition were in those early days a vague notion of idealistic parenthood to me. Not feeling able to back myself led quickly to overwhelm and isolation, and essentially a feeling of failing to be a good enough mum. Being faced with the situations like the day I've described in my chapter have been a gift. They have forced me to question the unresourceful belief I had that I didn't know how to support my son, and have shown me that ultimately I am the very best person for the job, as you all are for your children. Recently I began looking for some guidance on how to support our little man even more. His difficult days were outnumbering his happy days, and it was taking its toll on our family. As much as I wanted to believe that it would all somehow magically blow over, my gut instinct told me that things could be better and that I could do something about it. After a lengthy assessment process, we have received a behavioural and a sensory diagnosis for Zach. Within 3 weeks of beginning a program tailored exactly to his needs, I have experienced a very touching moment. Sitting on the opposite side of a two-way mirror in Zach's class, I watched him show his dad how to pick up Thomas the Tank Engine using Cranky the Crane. He demonstrated how to slowly lower the bright yellow magnet and carefully line it up with the metallic train engine. Zach had his hand resting on Chris's arm. The two of them were chatting backwards and forth, the conversation occasionally interrupted by a choo-choo. Even through the glass, you could feel the connection between them. While all of this was very special, the magical moments was watching Zach respond to instructions and changes during the play. Using some of the techniques we were being taught, Chris seamlessly transitioned Zach into each new activity. This even included welcoming strangers very calmly into a pretty small room, something which would have previously been very overwhelming for Zach, and that's something that you get a feel for in my chapter. The simple scene I've described to you has given me such hope, and is something that we're experiencing at home with much more consistency. In fact, we've just had some of our family staying from New Zealand for a week, and Zach had a wonderful time. By listening to my gut instinct and taking action, I have received some very specific help and it is taking effect fast. What I'm talking to you about today is parenting, but really it's all about trusting yourself. This is something that I believe needs to be practiced regularly. I do it by firstly acknowledging a situation for what it is, including the emotions I feel around it, and especially that niggling feeling that something's just not quite right. Secondly, letting go of all the shoulds that myself and others are contributing to the situation and asking what I really feel about that specific set of circumstances. And lastly, taking action towards the outcome that I want. I'd also just like to add here something I believe which is really important to remember, and that is that very few of the choices we make are forever decisions. I believe that we're better to move forward with positive steps, taking positive steps with the information that we have, knowing that we've got the freedom to recalibrate at any time as we learn more. As a result of reading my chapter in Luminaries on the Loose, I would love you to walk away inspired to reclaim any of your own misplaced trust. I believe that listening to your own, sometimes very quiet, inner voice creates more calm, which in turn allows us to step up as a courageous, awesome advocate for our children. Writing my own recently published book, Trust Your Melody, and contributing to the collection of unique and inspiring stories in Luminaries on the Loose has empowered me to back me on so many levels. It has given me more focus and more freedom to move forward with my life, along with a greater connection to myself, my family, and also all the parents I'm fortunate to be in contact with. It is the same journey that our book, Luminaries on the Loose, can take you on. I'd love to leave you with this one last thought. If you're ever questioning yourself, please remember this. You know infinitely more about your family than you may be giving yourself credit for, and you can trust that. See you next time.